Welcome to FCI London podcast, where we sit down with some of London's most influential luxury designers to explore the stories and inspiration behind their work. I am your host, Imke de Toy, and today I am joined by none other than Eleonora Romano, founder of Romano Interior Architecture, a London-based studio renowned for its refined, timeless approach to interior design. And with over 15 years of experience in the luxury interior sector, Eleonora is known for her precision, attention to detail, and the seamless way in which she transforms spaces from concept to completion. Eleonora, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here, and welcome to the conversation today.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So, Eleonora, we're going to jump straight in and talk a little bit about the designer behind the studio. You founded Romano Interior Architecture with a vision for timeless, elegant spaces. How did that vision evolve as your studio grew?
So I've always been drawn to elegant, timeless spaces, but how ultimately people enjoy them. I study architecture and art history and restoration in Rome. As well. So I've always been in touch with the classical tradition, with timeless materials and spaces, and how design interacts with architecture, as well as the Italian tradition in furniture and interior design. So there's a contemporary hint there. I also had the benefit of having a female mentor early in my career when I was in my early 20s. And she taught me everything about luxury and how to focus on the client's need and what it actually meant. Later, 10 years later, I led a property developer in Chelsea, which widened my horizons on how design could add value to a property and how collaborations with different type of disciplines can make a project extraordinary. So when I founded this studio 5 years ago, I already have 15 years of international projects and experience in London, and already knew what I wanted to create. Most of our clients are art collectors, because for me, it's essential to integrate architecture, art, and interiors it's just one seamless experience. And they're mostly families they're moving between London and abroad, and they want something that is timeless, but it's unique to them, to speak to them. So I keep intentionally my studio boutique, so I can focus on a client myself and from concept to completion.
That's wonderful. I mean, I love the fact that you said the seamless connection between interior architecture as well as art. And I think that is so important. And obviously with your background and also studying the history of art as well and having all of those beautiful skills come together.
I've always studied the discipline where everything is mixed together. Architecture, there's no separation between architecture and interior and art integration.
Absolutely. Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, your work carries an architectural calm where form and function are in perfect harmony. Is that more instinct or the result of painstaking process?
No, I'm a coffee person, so I love coffee.
Same here.
You have to balance architecture, the client's needs, and mostly we are humans, so our perception of the space determines our behavior and how do we feel. It's a very complex balance between the building. All the clients need the space have to be functional to them in the minimal details, in every drawer they open. And it also fits your soul every day when you wake up. You have to be fed by this space. It will inspire you to do things or not. So it's a very fine balance between all those disciplines.
All
so
those
you
little
cannot
moving
focus.
parts. Absolutely. No, I completely agree. Like you said as well, it needs to be a space that's both beautiful but also functional, because obviously it is people that are living in that space, a living, breathable, area. Well, that actually takes me to my next question. When clients come to you from all corners of the world, they're not just asking for a beautiful space, they're asking for a sense of belonging. Do you think designers today are really listening closely enough to deliver on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, from our studio point of view, from interior design point of view, the client's needs are your main objective. It's the first thing you take into consideration. And I think the process to get to know the client is essential for you to deliver a design. Otherwise, it won't be the right response. And once you have the briefing at a certain level, all the natural responses come in place. So
Yes.
it's an essential part of getting to know the client.
Absolutely. No, I would absolutely agree. And it needs to be that beautiful collaboration as well. And I think that comes back to there as well. Practice and precision and the art of detailing does come with collaboration. And obviously collaboration is key in design. How do you ensure that the architect, the client, the craftspeople are all singing the same without it turning into a choir of conflicting opinions? I mean,
Collaborations are one of my favorite parts. I take
mm,
a lot of time selecting the people that work with me. They all have to be aligned with our design, and I have to be completely aware of the design intentions.
yes.
They have to have attention to detail, and what
Mm,
I mostly look I have, but you have to have a clear communication with them and the client and all the parties involved. There's a balance there, and it's a critical for the design because the result has to be greater than the sum of the parts. So
mm.
everyone has to work towards that. It's not just the designer, but everyone does it.
Absolutely, absolutely. FCI London is known for its contemporary luxury. I mean, how do you see brands like FCI London influencing or complementing your own work and shaping London's design identity?
So I use personally at the studio, we use a lot of Italian brands. So it's very useful. Some of our clients, they really need to touch and feel the furniture and see the dimensions and sit on it literally. So the huge variety that you can find in FCI,
Yes.
it's amazing. And you can see the interactions and complements between
Mm,
brands as well there. And the studio point of view, a partner that can help us with the logistics and mainly
mm,
the customer service afterwards with the process of taking the design to reality is such a critical stage when we are procuring.
sure.
It's fundamental for them. Their customer service is outstanding. So for us, is a huge benefit to collaborate with
Yes.
them.
And there's so much choice as well. And I know I'm sure that the creativity just goes and just sparks as well with it
And
within
absolutely,
FCI London's
absolutely for
show.
to see the pieces in real life, it makes a huge difference.
Talking a little bit about your creative mind as a designer, an interior designer, and architect, has there ever been a moment when a project took you completely out of your comfort zone? And what did
Well,
it teach you?
from the creative point of view, I always like to be out of my comfort zone.
Mm,
Always, this always is a challenge, and it's more fun to have a project that takes you out.
yes.
But from the construction point of view, it's always when you have what I've learned is having a clear process, and when I have clear communication with everyone and do not assume anything ever. So
Mm.
I always have everything in a clear process, and that helps me a lot to solve any issues that may arise. So I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's always going to be some moments of being out of your comfort zone with, any sort of curveball that gets thrown your way. So absolutely agree with what you're saying, knowing what you need to do and making sure you stay on track and focused. I guess it also really helps to have had that mentorship that you were talking about right in the beginning as well, to obviously learn, all of those very, very is so many say architecture is structure while interior design is all about emotion. Where do you see yourself on that spectrum? More of a built to last type or let's evoke some feelings kind of designer?
Well, I'm an architect and an interior designer. So for me, it's
But
both. And architecture is not just a structure, it has to definitely evoke emotions. It's all a seems, the interiors are the layer to the architecture, and
mm,
everything is a experience. It has to evoke emotions, the whole experience from the building, from the lighting, the
mm,
architecture, how it relates to the landscape, how the interiors see the landscape, how the art interacts, how it reflects to everything. So it's a whole. I
yeah.
can like separate, and I can see what is structure
Yes,
different to interiors. And in my particular case, I'm in the middle of it. So
sure.
everything is fundamental for me. I
Mm,
see interiors more from the architectural point of view, from the materials,
okay.
from the space, from the lighting. But
Those two work
I work
together.
every detail. I work every detail to the minimal textures. That's what I really wanted, and what I really enjoy is the ultimate moment when the client experience the space. But it's a layer of things that have to work out in the right direction
Yes.
altogether.
I can imagine that moment when the client actually does see the end product, how wonderful it is to see their reaction to it as well. And I loved what you said that, you're right in the middle of it. You see things from both sides. You see interior from an architectural point of view. And it is really about art. And it's creating a story. It's creating a piece of art in every moment, like you said as well, with the lighting, the flow. And every little bit of detail really encapsulates what that end product is going to
For
look
me,
like as well.
in the process, there's a space for creativity, and there's a space for being technically accurate, because you want that
Yes.
creation to be materialized precisely when you're working with this type of materials and finishes
Yeah,
and details. You want precision on site. So I'm very technical at that point, but it also takes creativity to resolve all the technical issues on site.
absolutely. Okay, so now we're going to do something quite different. It's called the quick fire round, the this or that design edition. I'm going to ask you quick questions, and it's just
Okay.
little one word answers. It's a little bit of fun, just a little bit of fun to break the ice. So I'm going to quickly answer, and you just answer my questions as it goes, just one word answers. Okay, you ready? Natural light or statement lighting?
So always natural light, and then statement art lighting as well to complement or to
Okay.
enhance architecture.
Yes. Okay, no, fantastic. Texture or color?
So I use mostly natural materials with work a lot of textures and natural tones. And the
Mm,
color that I use mainly comes from a piece of artwork or has relation with the client, but mostly natural tones and material.
okay, okay. London townhouse or Italian villa?
Well, I'm Italian living in
So
London, so
Italian.
I'm a bit of both. I get the best of both worlds. So I would say
Yes.
I love the term of the townhouse in
Mm,
London. I love that. But, Italian villa, the
yes,
lighting
no, it's
architecture.
it's it's it's
So a
in the
bit of
blood.
both. I'm a bit of both.
A
So
little bit of both.
this is virtually me. So that's it.
Well, if you could have both, you can have both.
I can have
S
both.
Yeah. No, you can. Form or function, if you just had to pick one?
No, because this is the same. It's two sides of the same coin. So
Mm,
it's basically an integration there. You
an
cannot have
integration.
you have to balance aesthetics with functional usability. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yes, that's a beautiful answer.
Yes, so no,
Sketchbook or CAD? Where do your ideas first come to life?
no sketchbook. Always I sketching on site on the property, and then evolves into obviously
Okay.
precision. I'm precise
Yes.
on site, but
Like you
at the
said, it's
beginning,
necessary. Mm. Quiet home or bold client brief? Which gets your juices flowing a bit more from a
so I
creativity?
think everyone likes a bold client brief,
Mm,
especially when it comes with art or something like that. But the quiet
yes,
home has its challenges, so they're both creative in different ways. So a little
yes.
bit of both, but the art,
You want a little bit of the bold, the bold client
it's
to see what
something
you could do.
interesting. It's always
Yes,
more
yes,
challenging.
absolutely. Okay, thank you so much for that round because that's so much fun sometimes just to see quick answers, see what's going
It's
on
fun.
there. Yes, always. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about where you think the interior design world is going with regards to trends and with clients. I mean, what does luxury mean to the modern client today? Has it moved from just aesthetics to something a bit more experiential?
So absolutely. I mean, now it doesn't have to be doesn't have anything to do with aesthetics per se. It has to be mostly
Mm,
with experience and how each client experience different materials, craftsmanship, the quality of the space. It's all about
yeah,
experience. So what can luxury mean from one person? It can mean a totally different thing for another one. So it's all about creating something unique for that particular client.
yes,
It's all about experience now. So how can you
absolutely.
enhance that experience?
Yes, no, for sure. But with social media pulling the strings on taste, I mean, how do you keep your work authentic without being influenced?
Well, basically that, focusing on the client. And I've never given a lot of thoughts to social media or following trends. Just recently, we use social media to put the studio, our work out
Mm,
there, and mainly to have connections with people. And we focus mainly on our clients. And I
mm,
take inspiration from my travel, from the architecture, from things that are more lasting than,
yeah.
I don't know, any trends on social media.
Yes.
But
Because you're
yeah,
pulling
mostly
from
on the client's
all,
need. Yeah.
yes. And you're just pulling obviously inspiration from everywhere that you get. It's always going to just be embedded there.
I mean, travel is a great inspiration, and mostly
Of
that.
course. Yes, no, that I can definitely imagine. Are there any design trends you'd happily see quietly vanish into the ether, never to be spoken of again if you had to pick a design trend? Not really.
No, not really, because since we work from a different point of view, or we don't
Of
try
course.
to everything that is decorative just for the sake of it. We try not
Mm,
to use it. We work when you work from you root your work into purpose and meaningful for the client's life around a property and a lifestyle. It
mm,
really lasts instead of
of
something that
course.
is purely decorative. So, and we
Yeah.
tend to work with natural materials, timeless materials that I also take inspiration a lot from
Yeah.
my classical form education,
And to
but
find
I'm
that
not a fan of
functionality.
any trend.
Yes, no. I absolutely agree. Something that's not
I
just decorative.
do like when there's some research on materials, the research on new technologies or new
Mm,
ergonomics. I do like to be on top of that, but not like
yes.
decorative trends. Mostly movements, artistic movements.
Absolutely. No, very, very well said. I think I also really agree. There's nothing really functional about something that's just purely just decorative. It has its place and its time, but like you said as well, the design trend that needs to not be the main focus, you know. There's a big conversation obviously going on within a lot of different industries and in our everyday lives, and that is the ever fast growing age of technology and AI. And let's just chat a little bit about the future that means for luxury interiors. What's your view on AI in the design process? Do you find it to be a helpful collaborator or a creative disruptor?
So I think AI is a tool. A tool is going to develop as a tool. I think it's very in its early days still. I've lived through the inclusion of like new tools during the design stage since started studying, doing everything by hand. And now,
Yes,
so I think it's just another tool that you need to ultimately, it's fed by us, by our creativity. So it has to work for us.
yes,
At the moment, I haven't explored that much because it's not,
mm,
it doesn't give me any precise things as I need in the level that I need yet. But I think that it's ultimately fed by human creativity. So
absolutely.
it's a
It must have
tool.
been quite a transition as well. I mean, going from, doing everything yourself, from sketching to having all of these resources, and all these digital tools. Do you feel it enhanced the craft of interior architecture, or are we losing the personal touch in favor of precision and efficiency? As you said, there's not all the tools can do what is required for your work, and obviously some there are. But do you think we are losing the personal touch in favor and precision and efficiency with AI digital tools?
I think there's a place and time for creativity, and we start doing everything here with sketches and mood boards and things like to create the concept and then
Yeah.
move on to stages that require to be precise and require to have more detail, and you can have AI renders everything to show
Yes.
as precise as possible. And then to materialize the design, you need to be really precise. And there are technical tools there that saves you time and
Yes.
money and guarantee a result. So there's a place and time to do everything in the design process. I wouldn't start like a design doing an AutoCAD of what I try to create. I would start with
Yes.
something that gets your imagination and your creativity together. So there's a place and a time from each
I think
responsibility.
you absolutely said it right. It's knowing how to use the tools for when you need it and how you use it as well that actually creates that balance between what you need. And as you said as well, from a technical point of view, it's a great tool to have these digital tools as well. As you said, it saves money, time, gives you that precision as well, and that efficiency does exist there. Um, How do you think the next decade of interior design will redefine luxury and craftsmanship? Will we be designing spaces for an entirely new species by then if we're looking at the ever growing world of technology?
So, well, for me, a decade, it's a very short period of time. I think
Yes,
humans always create the same things, comfort, beauty, like a sense of belonging when they want their home to be designed. So I think there's going to be a little evolution, mostly. Craftsmanship is always timeless, about quality, it's about refinement. And what is evolving is the level, the concept of luxury. I think it's going to evolve in the type of personalization and customization of things.
yes,
But in a 10-year time, for me, it's very, very short period of time
yes.
to.
No, I actually absolutely agree. Time goes by so quickly. I mean, what it's been just within a space of 5 years. And just a little bit about reflection. Finally, how do you want people to feel when they walk into a space designed by Romano Interior Architecture?
Obviously, I want them to feel at home, and I want the space to be unique to them. For me, the moment when my client says, "This is so us, we're so happy, it feels so like us," it's when I know we succeeded, and anything else, it's just an accessory. That's the
Yes.
essential for us.
That's absolutely wonderful. But Eleanor, thank you so much for sharing your insight and perspective today. It's been an absolute pleasure just hearing from your
Thank you.
approach to spaces, such as your thought and precision. And I really look forward to see your upcoming work and having a little bit more of insight into what Romano interior architecture is going to get up to. And it's been absolutely lovely talking to you today.
Thank you so much as well. It was very fun.
I'm glad. And to all of our listeners and watchers, thank you so much for joining us on the FCI London podcast. Keep following and keep designing, and join us again as we continue our conversations with London's most influential luxury designers. I'm Imke de Toy, and thank you so much for listening.